This is the book I am reading. I still cannot figure out how to not mirror my camera on the front lens because these settings are confusing on the it should be there right there, and it has taken me the pace at which I am speaking to read this book because I feel like I'm reading this book for everyone. And I'm stopping on page 30 when they talk about Abraham, and then they talk. I was starting to get back in the Bible thing. I thought I'd read about the Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism, which I guess is the occult, apparently. Based on abracadabra, which is a magical expression based upon abra, which means to I will create. Oh, look, I'm teaching something on YouTube. In my YouTube channel. When you Chanel, I'm teaching something. I'm teaching that. And I did not know this. I didn't know that abracadabra comes from, it's the, hold on, somebody's cross-filtering my mind shoots. No, I'm not. Yes, no, I'm not. This magic, it is sense for Arabic, and then the knowledge. But the biggest part of the deal is that I'm trying to make here. I'm not reading. I quit reading the book. If you want to know what abracadabra means, look it up on yourself. Okay, this is what it means right here. If you can read it backwards, which is the magic trick flash. Oh, and this also this dot right here. I was reading this sentence. One of the most simple and striking examples of the transmission of the occult is that every child knows a magician uses. Anyways, you read it for yourself. It's so confusing, and for some reason, this defect was. I first wanted to throw this book away. I saw this is a terrible writer. I'm reading this, and I kept reading through this book, and it feel like the Matrix wrote this book. And now they marked the defect of this book. There's like a defect here to indicate that this sentence right here makes no sense. When I read it, it says, one of the most simple and striking examples of the transmission of the occult is that every child knows a magician uses the phrase abracadabra. Like, it's totally like, who proofread this? They need to be shot because it's very confused. I'm reading it over and over. I think I'm reading it over and over because it's confusing the way this. And they bring up concepts that I guess you have to be Jewish. But the reason why I stopped reading is because it talks about circumcision, which is a Jewish tradition and passed on, and that's the main thing I have a real problem with. That you would alter the natural state of being, and so I thought I would get back into the Bible and learn about Kabbalah and Jewish tradition, but it's because it's this Jewish traditionalism that fucking my penis does not feel full sensitivity. Fucking they cut off my flesh that fucking has nerve endings in it that makes me fucking feel better. Maybe I'll last longer in bed though now. Or not in bed then, because if I sleep on the ground outside in a forest. Maybe I'll last longer in the forest now because I'm not all those sensitive nerve endings are pushing through it and making me bust soon. I don't know that's another. Who lasts? What makes it last longer? Having the skin or not having the skin? Either way of it, I think that anything that alters the natural state of fucking something through tradition is a bunch of bullshit. You're gonna cut off my flesh because of a tradition. So now I'm gonna fucking take this book and you're gonna make my sex life not as pleasurable because of a fucking tradition. Well, here's what I think about your fucking Torah. It's not even in the fucking original book that I was taught as a Jehovah's Witness. So I don't know where you're getting this occult other extra books as opposed to the thing. That's my video for the day, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. This book, that's a Matrix book because I'm reading through it, and not only do I have everyone striking at me as I'm reading, it's also like some of the reading through the sentence. People do not know how to write and explain shit so clearly and fluidly as you read. It's like, why does it sound like you're trying to write a science manual and it's not even a science manual? That's all I've said. I'm really mad about circumcision. That's what you gotta know right now. That's all you need to know.